As the snow falls and fire burns in this little Gothic town of ours, it seems over these past few merry weeks a great deal of people have wanted to ask a various assortment of things, and well, I thought full of Christmas spirit and cheer, we'd cozy up and answer a few of these burning questions. If only I remember where the bloody hell they were. I think they might be downstairs. There we are. Let's see who's first on the list. It seems up first is Spode Lover, who asks how long did it take to build that? I believe he's referring to this old cathedral behind me. Well, the cathedral was started 3 years ago, and having, a life and studies alongside, I didn't spend every day on it, so I wouldn't in any measure of time know an exact amount of the hours that have gone into it. I'd say a good portion of that time is the hours I spent researching and drawing many plans I've made over it for the past few years in my sketchbook, all sort of doodles I do to give me some clarity of what exactly I'm building. But if I had to render it down to how much time I purely spent on it, I'd say a couple months or so, really, in just building alone. Priz 2008 remarks, did you base it off a real church? Well, yes, Gothsburg Cathedral is based off Cologne Cathedral and Lincoln Cathedral. It's this strange amalgamation of French Gothic intertwined with English Gothic architecture, with windows taking a heavily Raynaud design influence. But books and images only do so much to aid in designing these works. My eventual wish is to one day actually see these beautiful works in person and hopefully take you along for the experience as well. There's so much to learn from the past, but much more to discover from the future. Bisek asks, when will you post the World download, if you will do it? This one I've gotten a tremendous amount of times, and well, to answer it truthfully from my heart, I have absolutely no clue when I'm going to post it. I have no idea when I intend on giving a world download. There's no real need in my mind to actually do it. In its current state, Gothsburg in my mind is simply incomplete. It is a unfinished manifesto of mine. Manifesto being all these various architectural projects and buildings, and now that we have started making videos on them, I feel it isn't my intention to serve you all a half-baked cake, and Gothsburg is a lot less than a half-baked cake at this point. It's simply inadequate to give a world download. As we make more and more videos on this channel, I believe that in time, this world will become something that feels connected to its audience. Right now, it's very disconnected and it's my own personal work, but through my making of my past video, I've gotten tremendous feedback, and in a way, I feel the audience has affected the world a lot more. I can't tell you exactly when I will share it. All I can do is offer you a seat for the ride there. Dynaman asks, brother, may I have some oats? No. Johnny5923 wishes to know, may I ask where you sourced your literature on the cathedral and church architecture? For that I'll have to go to the library. Where exactly is it? Here we go. This is a great book. It's called The Architectural Theory of Viollet-le-Duc by M. Phil Heron. It's a wonderful book as it talks about one of my favorite architects, Mr. Leduc himself, who, if you don't know, worked on the original restoration of Notre Dame back in the 19th century, and has his wondrous drawings, which are far better than my own. So you'll learn a great deal more from his work than mine. If you want to learn about the current restoration of Notre Dame, they actually have released a new book called Restoring Notre Dame, which I believe is in bookshops, and I've been meaning to get a copy for myself as well. But if I have to be honest, I'm not really a book person. All the ones I own in particular are just miscellaneous ones I find at off shops while drifting, but I'd like to suggest looking at particular architects themselves, like Leduc, Gaudi, even Otto Wagner if you want to touch some Vienna modernism, and reading their own writings and manifestos and their own drawings as well, as all of these architects have wondrous drawings. I find reading those personal notations that these architects write is a great deal better, as it's more insightful and definitely a lot more personal to these works itself. CliffCat258 asks, what tools did you use? World Edit, Axiom, etc.? I have no clue what Axiom is. World Edit I've heard of, but never actually used it. If anything, it's purely just the clone and fill commands in Minecraft Bedrock, which do perfectly fine. I play Bedrock, and I must be honest, I haven't exactly had the most pleasant time trying to work with Java. If anyone knows how to fix that, please tell me now. And it being a flat world, I have to manually terrain all of it. But it works, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Methane Sophie asks, are you familiar with Warhammer 40k? Yes. If it wasn't very clear, I'm greatly familiar with Warhammer 40k. If none of you are, I strongly suggest, if anything, you listen to the Mechanicus Soundtrack. This is not a sponsor. I just love the soundtrack. It's amazing, and I think it's awesome. I'm very lucky enough to have a major Warhammer nerd friend of mine who knows all the lore inside and out, but I love it greatly for its designs, and hopefully we'll be able to dissect some of the architecture in Warhammer in Minecraft as well. I think Gothsburg yearns for hive cities. Miss Maug asks, what tricks are you doing to get these cinematic shots? Especially the one where the light just pours down the center of the building. Well, thank you, Miss Maug. If you know anything about this channel, it's that we love cinematics. And well, for the light pouring down the center of the cathedral, it's very simple. It's noon, and that means the sun is directly above the cathedral, so it sort of just does its thing. But of course, there's a little movie magic behind the scenes. And since I use Unreal, we get to play around with some of those lighting settings. These settings in particular are occlusion, height fog, and light shaft bloom, which gives it that beautiful flare you see in the video, creating these god rays as they are known. But that's pretty much it. There's not really too much else to it. Lord Observer 5092 asks, how would you design a cathedral if you got the chance to build one in real life? Well, I mean, it sort of just answers itself, doesn't it? However, I do think, in all honesty, I would want to have some unique modern features that makes it technologically more unique. Perhaps some kind of tectonic window design or another unique attribute, maybe a unique building material, if anything. It would also depend on where it's built as well, the climate, terrain. There seems to be a great deal of variables to this project, and it being such a colossal size would obviously have to all factor into the design. But in a dream situation, I can't lie if I didn't say that I'd absolutely love to see what Gothsburg Cathedral would look like in real life. Reversal8250 says, amazing video, I already filled 2 diapers. Okay, on to the next one. Hopefully he's changing those. DXM Things Toasted says, please make a video of you just saying goodnight. Well, just this once. Goodnight. Gyrated Pastry says, this might be Viktor from Arcane playing Minecraft. I actually don't know how people say this. I'm pretty sure Viktor has like a Russian sort of accent, or at least his voice actor does that. I don't really see the accent, but I sort of understand how people could say that. Also, to people saying I clearly have a British origin accent, I hate to break it to you, but I'm from down under. Although I must admit, it's funny, it seems that 90% of people like my voice and the other 10% write, great video, terrible voice though. So I suppose they can still enjoy the video with captions then. We actually just got a new microphone for this video and for the ones coming up. So hopefully we have a better vocal quality. Should make the videos a bit more enjoyable. And lastly, Saurus Fuix asks, I do look forward to what you develop in the future, and if the day ever comes of getting a chance to see the world in person. Well, thank you, Saurus. I guess that wraps it up quite nicely, as I do indeed want to see more of the inspiration I've only read and seen in images and drawings. The world isn't in books. It's out there. I'm not sure who said it, but you can't experience architecture truthfully without being in it, and it's true. Architecture isn't just an image or text, it's something to experience and be immersed in. I hope these films give that sensation as well. Ooh, and it seems that's all we have time for today. I hope this answered some of the more common questions, but if you have one, please do write it away and I'll get right to it. I just want to say thank you all so much for the tremendous support for my last video. I was earnestly surprised that it did so well, and I'll try and make a better one for the next one. Anyways, I'm glad you stayed all the way till the end. Happy building, and from Gothsburg, have yourself a merry little Christmas.